All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. Guys, we have 2 videos on the same topic, so we'll jump into them both here. Let's do it.
And thank you for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We do have some breaking news that happened a little bit earlier today that we did want to get to you here on Live Now from Fox. As I put up this post here from Fox News, we are learning, according to the North American Aerospace Defense Command, also known as NORAD,
right,
the U.S. scrambled fighter jets and other aircraft to identify and intercept 4 Russian warplanes flying near Alaska today. It's the 3rd time in about a month and the 9th time this year that NORAD has reported such an incident involving Russian aircraft flying near Alaska. NORAD said in a statement issued earlier this morning that it detected and tracked 2 Russian bombers and 2 Russian fighter jets operating in the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone. A total of 9 U.S. aircraft, a command and control aircraft, 4 fighter jets, and 4 tanker planes scrambled to positively identify and intercept the Russian jets.
Okay, guys, hold on. So here's the thing. The same thing is happening in Europe right now. All right, like Russia seems to be attempting to push their boundaries, if that makes any sense here, even more so than they already are. Guys, I am not like a Russia hawk. I just don't trust Putin. Like at all. I don't think his word means a single thing at all. I don't think the borders matter to him at all. Just look at Ukraine, right? I just don't think that the normal things that matter to a ruler or a leader are things that can be attributed specifically to Putin here, guys. So again, this is happening over the last couple of months also in Europe. All right, they have encroached over countries that they don't belong for a while now. All right, so let's see where this goes.
The Russian aircraft remained in international airspace and did not enter American or Canadian sovereign airspace.
That's different.
Such Russian activity near Alaska occurs regularly and is not seen as a threat.
Generally.
However, the incident comes after President Trump said Tuesday he believed Ukraine could win back all territory lost to Russia, which is a shift from President Trump's calls for Kyiv to make concessions to end Russia's war in Ukraine. NATO warned Russia on Tuesday as well that it would use all means to defend against any further breaches of its airspace after the downing this month of Russian drones over Poland and Estonia's report of an intrusion by Russian fighter jets last week.
Right here.
President Trump also said on Tuesday NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace. Asked if the U.S. would back up NATO allies in a situation like that, President Trump said, quote, "It depends on the circumstance."
Right.
Following a summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska last month, President Trump said he was arranging for direct talks between Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. But Putin has shown no interest in meeting with Zelensky, and Moscow has only intensified its attacks on.
Okay. I was wondering where we're going with this one there. Yeah, guys, listen. Between Putin and hold on, here we go. Yeah, but so between Putin and the Ukraine, specifically Zelensky, I don't really see how that's even worthy of even like speaking about any longer, guys. Like the amount of times that we've already had these conversations, like it hit the news cycle and it immediately went viral, let's say, so because people wanted to know what was going on, obviously. There's nothing there. Stop it. Like, what are we truthfully expecting of Putin? Okay. He has shown, in fact, himself for who exactly he is here. All right. That's it. There's nothing there, guys. Stop this immediately. But all right, let's continue on to the next one. Oh, wait. One more thing. What do you mean the Ukraine can get back the territories that they lost? How? All right. Like, are we signing up to basically get it back for them? Because, guys, there concessions, in my head at least, unless there's some new brand new information, concessions are the only way to get this done, let's say. But I also don't think that Putin will stop. Again, I don't trust a single bro. He can say the sky is blue, and I will say there's probably an issue with that statement. Truth be told here, I do not think he's a trustworthy individual. I do not think you should put much stock into any of his words at all. Listen, he's doing whatever is right for his own country. I understand the concept of sovereignty and your sovereign nation. I get that. No complaints there, right? But on the other side, looking in, I don't trust anything that he says. Right? That's it. Personally, my opinion, right? But again, I'm not like a Russia hawk, guys. I don't think that we should, demolish him and things like that, guys, right? But I just don't trust a single thing that he says. Let's jump to the next one.
Secretary General Mark Rutte says Donald Trump's comments describing Russia as a paper tiger struck a nerve in the Kremlin. Let's go to our Washington correspondent, Annalise Nielsen, who's live for us now. Annalise, the Secretary General was full of praise for Donald Trump today.
He was almost giddy this morning talking about how the US has pivoted towards supporting Ukraine under the Trump administration. We know that there was strong support in the Biden administration, but this was something that Donald Trump seemed to be walking a line on, where he considered he could finish this up within a day because of his relationship with Vladimir Putin. But as it's dragged on for months, they've realized that this approach hasn't worked. So Donald Trump has very emphatically put his support behind Ukraine in this and is talking down Russia's prospects. He, again, just a short time ago in the Oval Office, was repeating these comments about how Putin is not in a good position with where the war is sitting now, and reiterated again that he thinks that Ukraine can win back territory that's been lost in this war. And it was the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, earlier today who made the point that he thinks Donald Trump's comments have had some impact as high up as the Kremlin.
Yeah, because I hear that and I'm like, ridiculous, right? Personally, right? So I can only imagine if there has to be something in it, meaning that there's something behind the statement, like we are going to step in and help, or there's some help coming exclusively for the Ukraine, because again, I'm not sure the Ukraine has anything to actually stop Russia, even though the Russian forces are kind of dwindling, let's say this year. I don't think that the Ukraine by themselves has the ability to win back their things. That's why I'm saying how it would be responded to, let's say in the Kremlin, right, by Putin, would be, that's ridiculous, right? Like that's the type of energy that I think he would give to it, because it doesn't make any sense unless there's something backing it, and the backing it aspect of it is probably what's going to drive Putin crazy.
But I think President Trump hit it exactly as he should have, by mentioning the paper tiger. And then the Russians coming back yesterday, the whole day, saying, no, we're not a paper tiger. We are a bear. Hey, when you see a bear, you know you see a bear.
Right, but that's
you
an
will
offensive posture.
Yeah, but it means that Russia is insecure, and that President Trump was able to hit a nerve, probably at the highest echelons of the Kremlin.
Well, yeah, you call them
The
call them
US
weak,
is not
call them
only
opposer.
upping its military support in what it's selling to European countries to then pass on to support the Ukraine war effort. Donald Trump is now also re-upping efforts to enact economic sanctions against Russia.
Okay.
I can tell you that President Erdogan is very respected by both of them.
Erdogan.
Everybody respects Erdogan. They really respect Erdogan. I do. And I think he could have a big influence if he wants to. Right now, he's very neutral. He likes being neutral. So do I like being neutral. But he's somebody that if he got involved, the best thing he could do is not buy oil and gas from Russia. If he did that, that would be probably the best thing. I've been watching the way what Russia's been doing. I'm very dissatisfied with what Russia's doing and what President Putin is doing. I haven't liked it at all.
Everyone is. Everyone is.
So, Pete, that was our very quick producers turning around what Donald Trump said just a few moments ago in the Oval Office. And this is important because it does show that this was not a one-off-the-cuff moment. This is a significant pivot in Donald Trump's policy.
Okay, Annalise
Nielsen. Yeah, guys, it definitely is. For all of the people who basically said that, for the most part, Trump was ran by Russia, what's the conversation we're having now? All right, like, I mean, you got to understand that Trump specifically is kind of backing Ukraine publicly, and then kind of giving slightly the middle finger to Russia. They understand this here. Guys, it's going to be really hard for anyone to actually back the actions that are happening here. Listen, you say one thing and do the exact opposite. All right, do you trust people like that? Let's take it out of the geopolitics for a second. All right, you deal with someone, and every time you come together, he says one thing and does the exact opposite of it. What do you think about that person? All right, take the geopolitics out of it. Just think about that for a second. Right, like, how much stock are you going to continue to put into a person that does the exact opposite of what they say? All right, none, hopefully. All right, so listen, if we're going to be funneling. If we're going to be selling weapons exclusively, selling, not giving, okay? If we're going to be selling weapons to the EU for the sole purpose of them to also now kind of help funnel things into the Ukraine, I think that is a better way to do things and how we were doing it. We wasted a lot of money in a country that really has nothing truthfully to do with us. It has things to do with the West, let's say, but it has nothing to do with technically us. Like, I mean, they can't, I mean, that's really, guys, it doesn't affect our day if something happens over there, guys. But it does affect the other Western countries in Europe's day, in fact. Right? Truth be told here, guys, it is what it is here. So as long as we're getting something out of that deal, it's fine if we're going to continue to help the Ukraine through proxy. All right. And again, I'm not a super fan of Zelensky, guys. I remember deeply that the interview that he had in the White House where he basically disrespected us. Right. Oh, you guys don't care. It has nothing to do with you. You're right. I'm glad you know. Right. But it has something to do with the West. Right. But it has really nothing to do with guys, listen. The WWs that we encountered, where did we fight them? It had something to do with us. Sure, why not, right? We were in it. But we don't fight in our country. We fight in Europe, bro. So either way, you get what I'm saying. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here and what Zelensky was trying to say. Like, I understand the historical aspect of the statements that he made here in White House, but I just don't think that it was like conducive to the argument, at least, right? Like, you can't be a beggar for the most part, right? You can't be a beggar and disrespectful at the same time. Pick one. You have one struggle, guys. You have one struggle. All right. But we're here. We're still supporting in some meaningful manner. But as long as we're getting something back from it, I think we're fine, personally. I don't think that we should be giving consistently to foreign nations, guys. This is how we got into the hole that we are currently in. Let's get out of the hole. All right. But listen, in the meantime, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. In the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.